All right, guys. So we had two notable deaths over the weekend, and I wanted to talk about it because Trump weighed in on both, and it's pretty typical Trump. So first was Chuck Norris, died at age 86, and then yesterday Robert Mueller died at age 81. Now, I want to start with Chuck Norris because I kind of have mixed feelings about him. I was a big fan of his movies, especially I think it's called The Way of the Dragon was the one that he did with Bruce Lee. I grew up doing martial arts. I have a black belt in judo. I think Chuck Norris has like 5 or 6 different black belts. So he's like a very, very, very accomplished martial artist and very accomplished, film. I think he wrote films as well as acted in them and stuff like that. But both of those guys, both Robert Mueller and Chuck Norris, are lifelong Republicans. And when Trump found out that Chuck Norris died, this is how he reacted to it.
Chuck Norris, 86 years old. I bet he was a great guy. Wow. Yeah, he died in a hospital. I'm losing a lot. He was like a quarter third. Yeah, he was Chuck Norris. He was a great guy. He was a really good, tough cookie. We didn't want to fight him. I just had he was a tough, great guy, and he was a great supporter. Wow. That's too bad. Tell his family, highest respect.
Oh, it's very sad. I'm very sad. I can't believe that he died.
Now, Chuck Norris, this is the part where I have the mixed feelings on, not just that he's a Republican, but Chuck Norris literally endorsed some of the worst people ever. Like, Chuck Norris was a big fan of Ronald Reagan. He endorsed Newt Gingrich. He endorsed Ted Cruz. He endorsed Roy fucking Moore. People who don't remember, Roy Moore was a guy who ran for Senate in Alabama and was accused of sexual assault and misconduct on girls who were like 14 and 16 when he was in his 30s, okay? So disgusting that he would support any of these people. And apparently he said very nice things about Donald Trump as well. So I really I have no words for that. He also apparently visited Israel several times and met with Bibi Netanyahu a lot. And it's so that's my feelings about Chuck Norris. But on the other hand, like I said, you have another lifelong Republican, Robert Mueller, who passed away at age 81 yesterday. And Trump said this when he found out the news. Good. I'm glad he's dead. I mean, this isn't out of the, nobody's surprised by this. This is very, very typical Trump. He's very vindictive, and he did the same thing when he found out that Rob Reiner and his wife were murdered. He went on Truth Social and was like, he had Trump derangement syndrome. He was a failed actor and a failed director and blah, 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 blah. But why is he mad at Robert Mueller? That's the thing that I just don't understand. Why is he mad at Robert Mueller? Robert Mueller, one, used to be the director of the FBI. He was put on the case to investigate the Russian collusion in the 2016 election, and according to Trump, he was totally exonerated. So by that rationale, he should love Robert Mueller. Now, truthfully, that's not what actually happened. What Robert Mueller said was that we can't indict a sitting president, I think, but it's important to remember that there wasn't an exoneration of anyone. What Robert Mueller found was that a bunch of people in Trump 1.0 were actually involved in this. So Roger Stone, obstruction of proceeding, false statements, witness tampering, Michael Cohen, his personal attorney, false statements, and he pleaded guilty. Roger Stone was found guilty. You also had George Papadopoulos, false statements, Rick Gates, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, all of these people. So it's not like this finding by Robert Mueller found him exonerated by any stretch of the imagination. What he said was you can't indict a sitting president of the United States. But it's I don't understand why Trump is vindictive against Robert Mueller, because Robert Mueller literally never did anything to Trump besides completely discredit most of his administration. But all of them are criminally corrupt, and we all knew that anyway. So again, it's funny to me to see him react to two people who are both literally lifelong Republicans. If they say nice things about Trump, oh, I'm so sad. I was very, very, very sorry to hear, and I hope his family's okay, or whatever else he says, right? if they did anything that slightly inconvenienced Trump, or, you know, like they spoke a little bit ill of Trump, they were critical of Trump in any kind of way, good, I'm glad he's dead. Just add this to the list that is as long as the Epstein files at this point for the reasons why Trump should not be president. I mean, like, I'm not above, like, saying, you know, I'm glad somebody's dead. I famously said when Dick Cheney died, good, rest in piss, because Dick Cheney was a war criminal. Dick Cheney was responsible for millions of people in Iraq either dying or being displaced. Dick Cheney made tons and tons and tons of money off of the war. He gave no-bid contracts to Halliburton, which is the company that he used to run. And so Dick Cheney was an awful person for a number of reasons. I don't think that Robert Mueller was an awful person for investigating what happened in the 2016 election. In the same way that, like, I don't think Chuck Norris is a awful person necessarily for endorsing Trump. You know, he never got involved in politics, I guess. I mean, he just liked really horrible people. But anyway, like I said, just stack this to the list. I mean, like, he's so unfit to be president because, like, he just lashes out like this. And again, like, I'm not above people, like, hating somebody and being like, good, I'm glad they died, whatever. But, like, you're the president of the United States. At what point is it, like, beneath the office of the president? But that is the one thing that Trump has done, is that, like, literally at this point, nothing is beneath the office anymore. Like, he has completely broken that. And every time you think there's no way he could stoop lower, I promise you, there is no floor beneath which Trump is not willing to sink. And so it will always get lower. It will always be worse. And we have to remember that. And like I said, I will be the first one out here celebrating the day that this cocksucker is pushing up daisies. Anyway, guys, I hope that you made it this far. If you did, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, click the bell as well. That way YouTube will hopefully notify you whenever I upload another video. And hope everybody's having a great weekend. Catch you in the next one.